Hi there, this is Dani, and the channel is You and Me Living Free. I'm so glad that you're here. I want to talk about Yellowstone today. I'm actually leaving Yellowstone, and I just wanted to share a few thoughts about it in retrospect because, kind of, as you are in it, as you are going through it, it can be so overwhelming. And I know planning my trip there was kind of overwhelming. And once I got there, the crowds that were kind of overwhelming. So, in a word, overwhelming is one of the first things I think of when I think of Yellowstone. So, I'm just going to show you some pictures as I talk about my experiences now that I have the benefit of some hindsight. I want to be really clear that even with every single challenge that presented itself, Yellowstone is just a remarkable, magnificent, wonderful place. And there are several sections of the national park. And my goal when I went in was kind of just to take one section a day and really focus on that. And the big key for that was getting up early. This is so key. If you are there and it is crowded, one of the biggest keys is get up early because people sleep in. So if there's something you really want to see, like Old Faithful was one of the worst kind of as far as crowding, but they were set up for crowds. It was set up that way, so it wasn't terrible. But it was crowded, there's no doubt, but if I got up early and got to the special place, got to my special place that I really wanted to see by, let's say, between 7:30 and 8:30 or so in the morning, I was just fine. And I was usually leaving that place by 10 or 11, sometimes even 12. And by then, things were a madhouse. I'm not even going to joke. This place is no joke. If you are trying to go to a station somewhere, which is one of the big collecting places, the big places where they have a lodge and a gas station, a store, and a restaurant. If you think you're getting anywhere near there around lunchtime, you are just a little bit crazy to me. But I'm not an extrovert, I'm an introvert, so I stay away. But the parking was nuts, the crowds were nuts. It was all completely crazy for me. So the key was get up early. And then once you have seen the big breathtaking things, the big Mammoth Springs, Old Faithful, the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone, once you've seen some of the big things, then you can get off the beaten path a little bit. So if you go for the shock and awe places, you got to go early in the morning and avoid some of the crowds. And then after that, you can meander a little bit. You can find some of those places there where everybody isn't crowded in together. People are kind of herd animals. They kind of have the same tendencies and they all go together and they kind of they kind of glob together. I have the opposite approach. I want to avoid that. So I was able to be kind of successful and actually do that for my trip. I'm not actually going to even try to pick a favorite moment at Yellowstone because there were so many, but this was probably right up there. I had just gotten out of the car and had lunch by the Yellowstone River. It was gorgeous, and I was getting back in the car, and this greeted me. I was like, holy crap. It's pretty magnificent to see one of them so up close. And that was definitely as close as I got, but there were lots of different encounters, usually in my car, of course, because you would never approach any of these wild animals, but they do kind of mix in a little bit every once in a while, so we can kind of catch a glimpse and just get a little piece. And I'm going to say also, here's I think this was at the Great Basin. I'm showing you an empty parking lot because I'm basically like, I was going into this place at about 8:30 in the morning and it was empty. By the time I left at 10:30, that parking lot was full. The street around the parking lot was full. So you can really find nooks and crannies of places that aren't mauled with people. Here I was looking for a bathroom. I found this little stream and two open bathrooms, and there's my There's my minivan, just showing you there is some peace and quiet to be had if you look for it, and if you aren't always, just having to be at the coolest place at all times. I loved Yellowstone, and in the middle of this huge heat wave, it was 100 degrees in many parts of the West. It was in the 70s every day at Yellowstone. I loved that. And I would say Yellowstone absolutely lived up to all the hype and then some. I adored it. And here I'm just showing you one of the places where I did some camping. This is at West Yellowstone. It is only about 5 miles from one of the entrances to Yellowstone. So if you stick around till the end of the video, it'll show you the iOverlander description and everything, so you can get the GPS coordinates. I just want to say thanks so much for watching another video. Thanks for being here, and I'll catch you next time.